Well, this morning when I was out walking my dogs, I was actually off my bicycle and kind of walking them around the bushes and stuff and just letting them do what dogs do, and tripped over like a part of a bush sticking out. It was just a branch, and I'm usually pretty careful, but I mean, next thing you know, bloom, I was down on the sidewalk and got up, and no injuries, but I did fall on my gun. I always carry like a pocket holster pistol, and I got the grip wrapped with a rubber inner tube just to protect it and such. But I really noticed that when I fell on it, and that kind of reminded me of a couple of things that I've seen recently. I was watching a video on YouTube, and this was a video where this rider crashed, and he slid on the pavement for a little bit, and the fire department was working on him, but somehow he was carrying a handgun, but his handgun came off of him, and he didn't know where it was, and a bunch of people standing around trying to help him find it, but it was gone. So that's just kind of a incentive. I mean, if you're going to carry your gun on your bike, you definitely got to have some sort of a secure carrying system, because you just don't want your handgun to get loose from you, and you certainly don't want somebody to pick it up that shouldn't have it. So a couple of the ways that I do it is, most motorcycle jackets have like a Napoleon pocket, and if you're right-handed, that works out pretty well. Now that's certainly not going to be a way to get at it very quickly, because you have to unzip your jacket, and if your gun's zipped in, you got to unzip that. And but what's nice about that is, if you stop someplace, a restaurant or whatever, and take off your jacket, mind you, your jacket's going to be a little bit heavy because your gun and your spare mag and everything's in there, but it's going to be secured. You just have to be mindful of your jacket and take it with you. And so that's kind of what I usually end up doing most of the time. My other more favorite way, and another way that I carry also on my bicycle, is I use a shoulder rig. And there's one that I really like that I've had for a long time. It's made by Galco. I think it's called the Summer Lite or Classic Lite, I'm not sure. But it's suede leather, and I've washed it in the machine a couple of times when it got all sweaty, and it had like a lot of crusty sweat residue. Yuck. And it came out okay. It came out fine, but that's very, very comfortable. Once you get it adjusted right and you get used to wearing it, sometimes I forget that I even have it on. But once again, the shoulder rig it's not a quick access system. Back when I was working at the gun store, most of the gun store employees carry sidearms, and so I commuted on my motorcycle, and I just put on my handgun and carried it on my waist. And most of the time I would try to cover it up with my jacket, just less stuff for passersby to look at. But a lot of the times it would stick out, and that's okay, but you definitely want to have some sort of a secure holster. And obviously, if you're carrying a handgun in the open, you want some sort of a holster that actually secures it, whether it's a thumb brake or some other sort of a system. But even that is not real security. I mean, security of your handgun is not on your waist. It's in your head. So you always have to be mindful of people behind you and so on. And this comes from my 12 years of being with the sheriff's office. Because in uniform I carried open all the time. So you always have to watch for people. And a lot of people know how these lock systems work. So you just have to be alert. It's not really unlike riding on a motorcycle. I mean, you always have to have good situational awareness. Now, when I was at the All Arizona, or the Arizona Motor Vloggers meetup, there was a guy there that had a gun that was similar to mine. He had a Springfield XDS, but he had it in .45. Basically a $500 gun, but he was carrying it in about a $5 holster. And the weird thing that he was doing is he had it like way in the small of his back, and he was carrying it open. He wanted to carry it open, but right in the small of your back, and he'd been carrying it that way on his motorcycle. Now, for one thing, it's a very unsecure plastic vinyl piece of crap holster, so the gun's going to come loose. But the other thing is, think about the fall. When you put on all your motorcycle gear, if you're wearing protective gear, you're not dressing for the weather, you're dressing for the fall. And if you're carrying a handgun, a piece of metal and hard polymer, and you're carrying it right on the small of your back. Now, what's on the small of your back? Your spinal cord. Do you really want to fall on your back and have a hard metal object right over your spinal cord? Definitely not. So, however you're carrying it, and this goes for anything, not just guns. I mean, your cell phone, your wallet. Think about how it's going to feel when you fall. So if you have it like over your hip, is it going to injure you? Now, there are some holsters that you can put in your waist that are very, very comfortable. And I'm not going to name names, but I've got a couple different ones. But these are inside the waistband holsters, and I've never carried them on the motorcycle because I just don't like having anything on my waist. I know I can't cover every possible scenario. Oh, that's a cool Harley. This guy must be Department of Corrections, because I recognize the uniform hands. So all I'm really saying is, give some thought to the items that you carry on your person and where they're at. Most motorcycle gear, I know like most of my motorcycle pants don't have pockets on the back because they know that you may fall on your butt. So you want to always be sure that anything that you're carrying, anything valuable, have it zipped in, velcroed, and have it in such a spot that if you fall, you're not going to fall on it. And you certainly don't want to fall on something hard and rigid like a handgun. So I mean, the primary mission out here really is safety, and so it's just Just be safe out there. Thanks for watching.